Well, today is the day I decided I wanted to get out of the house and do a video of nature. I looked out the window this morning, the sun was so bright, and I said, I've got to find a place where I can take pictures that my viewers will enjoy. Now you see me sitting on a bench, and this bench is located at the Henry Clay home. It's just about 3 blocks up the street from where I live, and I've been here a few times, but I haven't been here lately, and I said that's the perfect place for my viewers to see where I live and the neighborhood I live in. It covers a large block right in town. Right now they've got a white tent set up, some kind of occasion. I don't know if it's a wedding reception, it might just be a birthday party or an anniversary, but they were willing to allow me to video under their tent where they had the tables set up, the flowers were everywhere, they had curtains around the post with flowers and vines hanging down from those curtains. And it was so pretty, I was tempted, but when I got under the tent, it was too dark. So I started walking and carrying my camera, trying to find a good place. I wanted a place that had lots of color. Now our color hasn't come in completely, but where I'm sitting, I'm looking at 4 or 5 trees that are just glistening gold and orange and red in the sun. And I'm going to try to get a view of that when I can. I'm going to turn the camera around. I won't be very good at that. You already know I'm not a camera person, but I'll do the best I can. In fact, I went to Apple yesterday. I was having problems with my iPads. I've got 2 iPads. One's an old one. I've dropped it so many times, I'm surprised it'll even come on anymore. So I got there, and this young man was so helpful with the questions I had to ask, and he was showing me what to do. And I said, write it down. I won't remember it till I get home, so you better write it down. Well, he changing my passwords for me, and he took care of that. So when I got back home, I said, well, I guess I can add more videos to my iPad. I've added more storage space, and I'm ready to go. So today, let me see. I don't know if you know anything about Henry Clay, but I should have looked it up before I came. He was during the Civil War area. I do know one thing. I read this in a book. It was a book put out by the Greenbrier Hotel at Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Now, a lot of you may not be familiar with the Greenbrier Hotel, but those of you who are know why it was built. The Greenbrier Hotel has bunkers, and I've been in those bunkers. The bunkers were built for the safety and protection of the president in the event there was an attack on the United States by the enemies. The president, his staff, all of the people from the White House would be put on a train. That train would take them straight to Sulphur Springs, and they would be spending their time in those bunkers. Now those bunkers, they almost took my breath away because they're so big and so many rooms. And I knew if I got lost from the group I was with, I'd never get out because there were no windows and no direction telling you which way to go. They had an infirmary, they had kitchens, they had a theater room, they had everything, all of the conveniences, but these were in the event of war. So anyway, that being said about the Greenbrier Hotel, I remember reading where Henry Clay and Robert E. Lee would visit the Greenbrier Hotel, and they would go from Lexington, Kentucky to Sulphur Springs by horse and buggy. Now I'm telling you, today with 4-lane interstate, it's a 5-hour drive. So you can imagine how long it took them to get to the Greenbrier Hotel. So it was an interesting story. And that's about the only thing I know about Henry Clay, except he was a statesman, and I'm sure there's lots of interesting. You go on the internet. I think when I get home I need to go on the internet and back up what I'm telling. So I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit because I want you to see the Henry Clay home, but you're going to see the back side of it. We'll see what happens when I start turning this camera. I hope it works. I'm going to turn it slowly so you can see the grounds behind me, how far back they go, and there are lots and lots of trees. Very pretty place. Okay, I think I'm coming to, that's the white tent where they've set up for some sort of celebration. Now if I move on around, I'm going to show you, this is the back side of Henry Clay home. My iPad wants to wiggle, so you just have to take my word for it. You see, the Henry Clay home. Okay, on this side, you can't tell that, but that's a porch like. And sometimes in the summertime, they will have groups come to sing, groups who come, bands come and play, and people from all over the city will come, bring their chairs, their quilts. They have their picnic basket, their lunch, their drinks, everything, and they spread out all over these grounds right here. And there's lots and lots of room for the kid to run and romp. And I came to one of them, that's been several years ago. In fact, I've forgotten all about them, and I'm sure they still have them today. But that's one of the events. But you can reserve space here. You can have weddings here. You can have receptions here. And they do all of the preparations. They have also a flower garden that I would call a maze, only it's not the big maze like we've seen in the movie where you get lost in them. This is just beautiful flowers and lots of walkways, and there aren't too many flowers right now. They've died out. But I want to move the camera on around, and this is what I want you to see. And I'm going to have to flip the camera a little bit so you can see better. You see the color in the background? Okay, let me take this up. I want you to see the tops of the trees. I'm getting a glare, so it's hard for me to tell if you're actually getting a good view of the trees. But you see the orange and the yellow and the gold. It just I can't describe it. It's just a thing of nature that man cannot provide. So I'm coming on around, going to go back to where I'm sitting. I hope this works. I got a feeling this iPad's gonna fall off the stand before I get back around, but we'll find out. If it doesn't work, we'll try something new. Now, I think, yep, we got to do a little adjusting here. And you just bear with me till I want you to see me now. I'm so pretty. Here we go. Back on the bench. And when I was walking through, trying to find a place to do my video, I spotted some black walnuts on the ground. Now, living in the South, everybody knows what black walnuts are. Anytime you see a cake recipe and they call for walnuts, they don't say English walnuts or black walnuts, they just say walnuts, which tells me these people are not familiar with black walnut that we have in the South. Now, another thing I'll tell you about the black walnuts, they're about the hardest things in the world to crack and get open you've ever tried to do. So I picked up one of them so you could just see what it looks like. I'm going to bring it up close to the camera. See, this is how it is when it falls off the tree. It's got this big green hull on it. Now, you gather all these walnuts up, you just put them in a pile and you store them away. You want them where they will dry. They've got to dry out, and it takes several weeks. When they do, this is one I think a squirrel has had hold of. Here's what you get. You see that green covering, and you have to get that off. Some people run over the walnuts with their cars so that they can break these hulls off. Well, this one is already coming off. And this is what your walnut looked like. It's still in a hull. See how that looks? Now, this is where you take your hammer, or you take a good rock, a rock against a rock. And I'm telling you, the black walnut, when you're making candy and brownies, icing for cakes, your black walnut is the best nut you can use. It just makes anything taste wonderful. So I thought you would like to see that. And I'd say a few of you are not familiar with the black walnut. That's about the only thing I have to tell today. But I did want you to see my little park up the street from me. When the weather's good, it's just a perfect walk around the neighborhood, because all of the homes, not all of them, but many of the homes on the street where I live are 100 years old, and they have been kept in excellent condition. Every now and then we have a tour of homes, and that I won't miss, because I have to see what the inside of these homes look like. I just love the old Victorian look and the decoration. And the people have been very good about keeping the neighborhood up. I just wish I owned one of those homes, but then I get to look at them every day and I don't have to keep them up. I had a little story to tell you. I don't know if I ought to tell it now or not. It doesn't fit with what I'm showing you today. But I will probably be out other places at one time or another and showing you what it's like where I live. It's pretty cool here in the shade. I've got my little lightweight sweater on, and pretty soon I'm going to have my winter coat on. Don't look forward to that a bit. I appreciate you people watching me, and I hope you have enjoyed this little view of the Henry Clay home. I wish I was on the other side of the house. Carrying all my equipment around, it takes a while to get there, so I just settled for what I was looking for were the trees that were in color, and this looked like the perfect spot. So let me know what you think, and we'll see what we can do. I want to show you the trunk of one of these trees. I'm going to turn this around again, and I hope I can get it. Let's see, I'll tell you when I get there. I'm not sure I can see it. I'm still going. I think I'm not getting that tree. Just not showing up. I think there's too many shadows there. Maybe this is it. Right here. But I don't think so. Anyway, what difference does it make? I'll still go on around and show you the beauty of these trees. Just so pretty. It just makes you feel good about what God has provided for our use, for our enjoyment. And we need to take care of it. Okay, I'm going to cut us off. And I'm going home where it's warm. Thank you for watching.